Welcome into Lock It In with Cam Rogers, fresh off Super Bowl week. Great to be with you. Be sure to follow me on all social media at Cam Rogers Live. We are now transitioning out of football season and into golf, college basketball, March Madness, the Masters, all that good stuff coming down the pipeline. I have not been covering much PGA Tour action yet on the show this year, but I am going to start doing that, especially considering one Eldrick Tiger Woods is competing this week at the Genesis Invitational. I will give my thoughts on him, expectations for the season, and whether we think he can actually win a PGA Tour event, let alone a major championship. So we shall see. I will talk about it here on the show. Of course, we are presented by Bet Online. Definitely check them out. They do great work. Use promo code BELIEVE for that 50% welcome bonus. So let's get into it. Genesis Invitational, like I mentioned, Tiger Woods makes his PGA Tour debut at his own tournament. This is a signature event with the top 70 players in the field, but there will be a 36-hole cut, which is different from the previous signature event, which was the Farmers Insurance Open. Not going to be a big cut, though. I think it's going to be like at the most 20 players, something like that. So it's not a massive cut, but something to keep in mind as you place your bets for this week's tournament. Rory McIlroy highlighting the field, of course, coming off his worst tournament, which was at Pebble Beach, in terms of strokes gained since the 2021 Players' Championship. So certainly worth monitoring how Rory plays this week at Riviera Country Club, your classic Parkland-style golf course. Lots of bunkering, no water out there in the Pacific Palisades. 3 of the last 4 winners were top 6 in the field in approach. This is a second shot golf course. You need to bring your iron game. If you don't, you are going to struggle. You also have to attack these par 5s. Historically, the winner has been highly ranked in terms of par 5 efficiency for the week. So, got to attack those par 5s. And you have a unique grass this week in Kikuyu in the rough as well as the fairway. This style of grass really likes to grab your golf club, and that means flyers out of the rough, a trajectory of the ball that maybe you did not expect. You can certainly expect that with Kikuyu grass, so keep that in mind. And it should be a good tournament. Listen, this has been the season of long shots on the PGA Tour. Nick Taylor won last week at the Phoenix Open, and he was 120-1. Grayson Murray was 400-1. I think there's been an instance of 5 100 or longer shots to win and ending up winning the tournament. So what that means, I don't know. I think it's fair to say that the talent pool is massive on the PGA Tour, despite players leaving for LIV. Maybe that also has created some sort of vacuum for these younger golfers, the longer shots, to go ahead and contend and then eventually win. So that has been the case here so far in this PGA Tour season. Let's get into my picks and my outright pick for this week. By the way, I have 5 top 20s this week. The outright pick is Colin Morikawa at 20-1. His iron game is world-class, which is necessary here at Riviera. T5 at the Century Tournament of Champions. T14 at Pebble Beach. He's well-rested, taking the week off last week. And at this tournament, 4 out of 4 made cuts with 2 top 6 finishes. We know he loves West Coast events, winning the PGA Championship at TPC Harding Park, and then, of course, playing well here at Riviera. So Colin Morikawa for an outright pick this week to win it 20-1. All right, now I have a slew of top 20 plays here this week. Let's start with the juiciest of them all, but I do think it's worth the squeeze. Xander Schauffele at -165, perhaps the most, outside of Scottie Scheffler, complete player on the PGA Tour right now. The driver is working. The irons are working. The short game is working. 5 top 25s in his last 6 starts here. Xander Schauffele, -165 for a top 20 here this week. Justin Thomas, only -120 for a top 20 here this week. He's on the verge of winning very, very soon, coming off a 12th place at the Phoenix Open, where he gained strokes in every category. 4 top 10 finishes here at this event, including a runner-up back in 2019. Justin Thomas is very much back. I had him for a top 5 a week ago, and I just missed that bet, but I am pretty confident he will finish inside the top 20 here this week. Keep an eye on this guy. He's plus 200 for a top 20. Will Zalatoris. He's gone cut T34, T13 so far this PGA Tour season. So he is trending in the right direction, gained strokes in all 4 categories at the Farmers Insurance. That is the momentum that I want. At this number 2, serious value with Will Zalatoris for a top 20. Also, this guy perhaps is playing his best golf of his career. Beau Hossler is plus 200 for a top 20 here this week. 1 missed cut in his past 12 starts. T6 at a very difficult Torrey Pines, the Farmers Insurance Open last month. And then over the last 24 rounds, these are his ranks in this field. Remember, it's a good field. 12th, tee to green. 21st in approach, which I would argue is his worst stat historically. And 10th in par 5 efficiency. I talked about how important that is this week. So Beau Hossler, top 20 here at Riviera. Finally, this guy could be on the verge of winning soon. Adam Scott, plus 105 for a top 20 here this week. 2-time winner here at Riviera. The Aussie is making quite the career resurgence right now. He's gained 1.9 strokes per round, which is the highest mark of anyone in this field. Hasn't done this since 2020, when, of course, he won at Riviera. So the ball striking in particular is really sticking out for me. 7 top 10 finishes here in his last 15 starts. A little bit less than a 50% clip, and that's top 10 finishes. So there you go, Adam Scott for a top 20. Colin Morikawa is my pick to win. And then 5 top 20 plays here. Xander Schauffele, Justin Thomas, Will Zalatoris, Beau Hossler, and Adam Scott. Let's talk about Tiger Woods, who is, I think, 132, 130 to 1 to win this week. He's not winning this week, but this is the week to study if he can show us some signs of improvement. This would be his first PGA Tour start of the 2024 campaign. He did recently play the PNC Championship. That is not a regular PGA Tour stop. That is kind of an exhibition match, if you will. He did play the Hero World Challenge in December. Finished 18th out of 20 players, but really studying the stats, there are some signs of positivity for Tiger Woods. The putter, the short game, were good, solid. And one would presume that he has worked hard on that, considering his body probably allows him to work on that more than, say, the iron game. So I'm expecting good play with his putter and his wedges this week. The driver was great at the Hero World Challenge as well. He was 4th in the field in strokes gained off the tee. The driving distance is fantastic too. So that means the swing speed is there, which is really remarkable considering his leg, his back, his inability to push off the ground as much as he used to be able to do. And in terms of creating power with your swing, the ground is really important, pushing off it with your feet. So 4th in the field at the Hero World Challenge. Yes, it was a field of 20 players, but still in off the tee stats is impressive. The bad part is Tiger was dead last in the field in terms of his irons. So strokes gained approach, 20th out of 20 qualifying players. So that has to improve. I talked about how Riviera is a second shot golf course. If the iron game is not there, I have my concerns about Tiger's ability to even make the cut on the weekend. Now, it's been some time since December. Things can change. He could be healthier, etc. The iron game may be crisper, but that's what I mean by let's just watch Tiger Woods here this week. Let's study his game. Let's see how he does. And then we can sort of quantify whether we should actually bet on Tiger Woods. Now, he mentioned he's only going to play one tournament a month. So next month, probably the Players' Championship, then the Masters, then the PGA Championship, then the Open Championship. Then it's August, potentially the Wyndham if he's not qualified for the FedEx Cup. But other than that, that's all we have with Tiger Woods here this year. So the sample size is going to be small. An official prediction I have for Tiger is T55. So not dead last, but not better than 50th percentile for Tiger Woods here this week. By the way, the weather going to be cold, rainy, etc. That's not good news when we are talking about someone with an ailing back and leg. So that is the reality of the situation with Tiger. There you go. My preview for the Genesis Invitational right here on Believe. This is Lock It In with Cam Rogers. Continue the conversation on social media at Cam Rogers Live. I will talk to you very, very soon.